From the day we are born, we are forced into the practice of sitting down, shutting up, and following orders and directions. For 17 years, we are conditioned to follow rules and think what we are told to think, but then the day you start 12th grade, it does a complete 360, and somehow you're supposed to know what you enjoy now, let alone what you may enjoy in 30 plus years? It's simply ridiculous. Take a group of children and throw them in the cold, dark, deep waters of adulthood when for 16 or more years they have been treated like dogs. They've been taught to sit and obey. And they also spent 11 years in school having their freedom of thought just stripped away. Every single day. Imagine it. September of your 12th year of school. Excited, ready to start a new year, fresh in the summer sun, and you're basically told you have to have your whole life planned out by the end of October, or you're going to be a failure. You see, you could be the smartest and calmest person, and this still would stress you. Your whole existence chosen in less than 2 months? What if you chose something and you aren't in the classes you need for it? What if you choose something and you have to move away for? Or even if you do have the classes, what if the marks weren't good enough last year? Nothing is scarier than the cost of education, though. Statistics have said there has been upwards of a 500% increase in tuition prices since the year 1991, and that went from $2,000 to around $15,000. So a 17-year-old who's never had more than a couple $100 is now forced to plan for a possible $15,000 plus course, and that's all dependent on how they do in the next few months, that if they get in, if they get accepted, or if in the first year they realize they hate what they're studying and they have to start from scratch and do it all over again. And then the biggest issue by far is the scarcity of jobs, and it's just mass confusion. Everyone says, oh yeah, there's lots of jobs in this thing, but there's no jobs in this field. All you have is patterns and could-bes because no one knows. No one can know. No one can predict the future. They say the average person has 7 jobs in between their leaving of post-secondary and their final official job, because as humans, we are always growing and learning and changing. And the world we live in is also growing and changing. The world today will not be the world in 30 years, and neither will them. It's a cruel and bitter punishment to throw kids into the slaughter when they're barely ready to walk on their own. The worst part is due to the instant pressure thrown onto them. A lot of kids just pick any course they can just to get the world off their shoulders for a little bit. They have their whole world imploding on them all at once, from their internal emotions tearing them apart to all their friends being just as scared as they are, with the biggest constant they have being school, just stuffing the words university, college, degrees, studying, exams down their throats every day, so hard they're going to break their pharynx. Generations of kids are turning to substance abuse to handle the stress, with their mental health degrading into a puddle at the bottom of their skull. The world has to realize that these kids are not pawns, they're not superhuman. They can't make this kind of decision on their own, and they can't make this kind of decision in less than 2 months. And sometimes adults don't always know best. They think university is the best option. Maybe the kid doesn't want to go to university. Kids are real people who deserve to have free thinking from an early age. And if them having free thinking of freedom of thought scares you, good. Because no one is going to be blind to this abuse anymore.